Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and I want to talk about a video that I made yesterday talking about DLSS and why I'm like I'm kind of starting to feel a little bit anti AI upscaling in games. Like I am, man. And it's not because I don't have access to it. If I wanted to go buy an NVIDIA graphics card, I could go buy one right now. It's not about that. It has nothing to do with that. Like I don't like the way I don't feel good about NVIDIA as like a company. You know what I mean? Like I don't even necessarily feel good about AMD as a company. Like I just don't really like I'm not here to champion either one of these guys. Like I don't care. I mean, I do care. I just want the product that I pay for. And I bought actually four NVIDIA products. Like the first laptop I bought was the MX350. That was literally all I could get my hands on during the shortage when I first started this channel. Was literally that. Like it was a bare minimum. It had an NVIDIA processor and it was the MX350. Then I found the 3050 Ti laptop. Then I was able to I literally bought what I could get at the time during the whole shutdown. And then, after everything started getting to the point where I could buy something else, I got that 3080. So I went through four NVIDIA products. And I mean, like when it came to like older games, like the eighth generation games, like yeah, I could run them, and they weren't. It wasn't that really that big of a problem, And then like flipping on DLSS, and I mean, yeah, obviously the image quality looked better, and just the overall experience that I had with NVIDIA, from day one all the way forward. Like when you go into a brand and like everybody's like, yeah, these guys are the best, and you like go into that, like you have extremely high expectations. Like you just do. You're like, yeah, man, I bought the best, and you want to feel like you bought the best. And like I said in a video before that, like covering, like now that I look back on my coverage for the 3080, that's like embarrassing, man. Like I'm sitting here, trying to cover like Spider-Man on a 3060 Ti. Clearly the 3060 Ti is more powerful than a freaking PlayStation 5, right? Well, at least you would think anyways. I mean, 10 teraflops, 16 teraflops, Nvidia is the best. AMD is in a PlayStation 5, and you're sitting there looking and you're thinking, and like the only real major difference for the PlayStation 5, the one thing that I wish I could have on that was the field of view slider. That was freaking incredible on PC. Like that's incredible, right? When I was able to do that, boom, that's where. But if I had that for the PlayStation 5 version, I would absolutely be happy. That game looks incredible on a PS5 on a 4K TV. It looks incredible. When I'm playing, not being able to actively play that game on a 3060 Ti at 4K with PlayStation 5 performance, knowing that you have a better CPU and GPU, but you're limited by freaking VRAM to be able to do that. Yeah, that was embarrassing. That was extremely embarrassing. Then I get the 3080. And the 3080 definitely better. Obviously, I could play it at 4K. I could play it at 60 frames a second. I mean, it would still dip into the 40s, but whatever. I mean, like it would, like you get by Temple Square and everything. It would start to dip into or Times Square or whatever. It'd start to dip into like the 45s or whatever. Not a big deal. I mean, most of the time my frame rate was above 40 and up to 70 or whatever on that. So I mean, it wasn't really that bad, but I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm like, dang, dude, I played through Spider-Man Remastered on the PS5, running that game at 60 frames a second at 1800p, and it looked incredible. Like, it looked incredible. You could turn on the ray tracing, at 4K, and like that was good. You were getting ray tracing. And then you get 120 FPS mode if you with ray tracing enabled at, you know, I mean, 1080p 1440p ish looking image, but I mean if you're playing it on a 1440p monitor, it absolutely looks incredible. So I mean, when I'm looking at this situation back from when I was running with the Nvidia and I had an Nvidia graphics card, and I'm seeing all these struggles, and I'm wondering, like, dude, why isn't this working? Like, why isn't this working? Then it all kind of makes sense with the way, after listening to that freaking dude on that Digital Foundry video, that just, the way that guy was talking was just starting to get me like a little bit irritated. It's like, dude, you're sitting here calling these developers, with the developer sitting right here, you're literally saying that all the work they do on video games is fake. Like, it's all fake. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, dang, dude, I feel bad for every single one of them developers that literally sits there for hours trying to tweak things and make things look good. And I mean, like, obviously it's all fake, you know. I mean, it's computer graphics rendered, whatever. But like, you're sitting there and you're wondering, it's like, dude, these guys are putting in this effort, you know, building out all this stuff, and then this dude's like, oh yeah, and the AI just comes through and makes it look better. And I'm like, dang, dude, that's got to be like demoralizing, dude. If somebody came in and told me that, like, oh yeah, AI could make your freaking, I mean, could fix that better than you, I'd be mad. I'd be way mad. I'd be like, really, dude? AI, man, you're gonna like completely negate everything that I've done over some AI algorithm that like, man, it's so frustrating. Like, I feel bad for these developers. It almost makes you think, like what is the future of video games? I sat down, and, you know, I mean, you can try this yourself. You can get on Bing and you can talk to ChatGPT, and you could say, hey man, write me a cyberpunk story. Boom, it'll write you a cyberpunk story. And then you'd be like, okay, well, give me a design, a visual design of this character. Boom, it'll throw out a visual design within like literally within a minute. Literally within a minute, you could get a whole synopsis on top of like a detailed looking freaking character model. Like, really detailed. Like, you could literally have AI write you a story. Sorry about it's getting ready to rain. You can have it write you a story, design all your characters, design your world environments in like less than 5 minutes. However long it takes you to talk to ChatGPT. I mean, it doesn't always come back with perfect stuff, but I mean, it's enough to look good on a screen and sell you a video game. Like, trust me, the future of video games, I mean, it could even write you code for a video game. That, I mean, like, AI can pretty much do all of that for you. Anything that you could think of, you could sit and talk to Bing ChatGPT, and it could design it. The whole thing, man. Like, you could literally have AI design all your characters, design all your stuff, design your world, design your environments, design literally everything. Like, pull up all the art and everything, and then boom. Then you can just have AI freaking do all the coding and everything for you. Man, the more these developers utilize this AI, the more I mean, like, and don't tell me it can't, dude. Look at Microsoft Flight Simulator. Microsoft Flight Simulator is literally streamed in, and then the AI puts everything together. They didn't build out all those worlds. I mean, there are people in there doing like the hand touches and everything like that, but the overall AI experience of the world being streamed in and then AI upscale, like, it looks pretty dang good. Like, it doesn't even look that bad. I mean, if it can literally stream in the whole freaking planet and fill all that in, you know, just from AI going off of freaking satellite imagery and stuff, and like giving you like it's getting pretty close, man. Like, I mean, you might not think that, but I mean, you might not think it matters, but it does kind of matter, because there's a lot of jobs that could literally just become redundant because of AI. And So I mean that kind of does make me a little bit more like, dang, dude, do I really want to support AI going forward? I mean, like, obviously it's great for upscaling. Don't get me wrong, like the upscaling is whatever. But when it starts to take over like somebody's vision and make it its own, that's when you got to start asking yourself. It's like, dude, when is it? Like where does Nvidia see this technology going? I mean, if you look at all the 40 series cards, they all got skimped back on pure rasterize and power, all of that, dude. I mean, like none of these cards, like, the 4060, 4070, 4080 is probably, good enough, still got the power, but everything under the 4080, man, is essentially kind of not really a great product when it comes to like just rasterized power and stuff like that. But then when you look at the the overall competition, with like AMD or whatever and what they've been doing, like giving you the VRAM, giving you the bus bit rates, giving you pure rasterized power, just completely building out cards that are worth buying, I mean, like you might say, oh, look at the 7700 XT for $450. That game, that card right now today, if you buy it right now today, you get $100 version of Starfield. So technically, the game is the card's actually like $350. You take away the Starfield. By the time when they stop doing that promotion and they take out the Starfield, obviously you could get what, Resident Evil, Starfield. I mean, you can get like a brand new game with that. So I mean, you're not technically paying $450, and you might not need the game, like whatever. So I mean, like, don't buy the card yet. Wait until, like, obviously the price is going to go down. Clearly, I mean, it's obviously higher because they got a game selling with it. And most of these, I guess you could say the same for Nvidia too, and Intel. Most of them will usually give you a game or a couple of games or something like that if you buy one of their cards. So it's not like you're not receiving a value, but at the same time, like, you might already have those games or you might not care for those games, but they do try to give you like a perceived value when it comes to those graphics cards. And I mean, like, if you look at the 7800 XT, you get a $100 game with that. You're getting that card for like $399. You're getting that card for like $400, plus tax. And those are both potent cards. They're going to last you a lot longer. I mean, your entry level 7700 XT for 1440p gaming, at least it's got like, I mean, I do think that card would be sufficient, just like a 4070 would probably be sufficient for like high-end 1080p, mid-range 1440p once the newer games start launching and stuff. But I was playing tonight. I was just jumped on the AMD card and I was playing that Last Descendant or whatever. And that game right there, man, I turned off all the upscaling and everything. That game was running at well, with what was there, it was running in the 90s, man. It was running pretty good at 1440p. So I was like, wow, this is actually kind of impressive, and this game looks pretty good. So I'm starting to see a little bit better utilization of UE5 in some of these games, and that's pretty cool. But I don't know, man. Like, the overall thing with the AI, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like it's not cool and like it doesn't work, because that's stupid. Obviously, it does. It really does make the games look better, but at the cost of... I guess in a way I am a little bit worried about the long-term effects of it. Like, is it going to replace like my favorite developers or the people that I've been playing their games for a very long time? Are they just going to all of a sudden not have jobs or not be able to find work because there's not going to be anything for them because AI is going to be able to do it like that? I don't know, man. I don't know. You get one artist and they put together an idea and then they just fill it all in with AI and boom, there you go. There's your game, man. Like, there's so many jobs that can literally be replaced with AI, with upscaling, with just, having the AI fill in the blanks. You give it the idea, you show it this, and then it fills it all in. That's pretty insane, And what happens when these greedy publishers, man, like these EAs and all these other guys are like, yeah, man, we don't even need half these guys anymore. We could just spend $1 million right now, buy this AI thing, and it can just fill in all the blanks for us, and we don't have to... You can't tell me that them greedy people aren't out there, bro. You can't tell me that they wouldn't freaking just get rid of so many people and use AI to fill in the gaps for them. They wouldn't care if the games came out buggy. They just got to get you hyped for enough people to buy the game to recoup their investment. You know what I mean? And EA is perfectly okay with doing that. We've seen it multiple times that EA is perfectly okay with selling you an unfinished game and letting you wait until it's fixed, man. But I still buy EA games because I like them, and they do eventually get fixed. And I'm one of them kind of people that likes to play that game day one. So sometimes, like I said, I'll buy a lot of games. They'll sit there, and then I'll get around to finishing them when they're all fixed up and patched up and fine. So I mean, they're still kind of new to me, but it is pretty cool. So I want you guys, from what I want you to take away from tonight's video, I'm not against AI. I'm not against upscaling. I'm not against any of this stuff, but I am starting to get a little bit like, oh boy, you know, a little bit. I guess you could say I'm having that like moment of like, oh man, I feel bad for the developers, but it'll go away quickly once I see pretty visuals. I hope not, because I do. Video games have been part of my life for a very long time, and the people that make them, I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of. I want them to do good. I want them to be able to bring their artistic vision, and I want to see what they have to create. I don't necessarily want everything to just be passed over with AI or whatever, or upscaling or anything. Because I mean, the same kind of goes for AMD's, you know, FSR. But FSR, I can go from native resolution to FSR, and like the overall change. It's not really that dramatic. I mean, like and it's not really that dramatic so far. I mean, like with what I've seen from DLSS, I mean, it was good. Like it sharpened everything up and everything like that. But when it comes to like overall image quality, I don't really, unless you're like sitting there looking at it pixel by pixel, man. Like for the most part, to me, like I didn't even really notice like a significant change in visual quality. I never noticed that. Like, I don't even notice most of the stuff when it comes to FSR, you know? I mean, like, obviously, if I see something shimmer in the back, like, whatever. I mean, but that kind of stuff doesn't necessarily bug me. It's just I see it now because I know about it. If you don't know about this stuff, it's not going to ever bug you. Like you would see it and you'd be like, oh, yeah. And you would just, your mind would be right back to the video game, unless you're looking for it because somebody else mentioned it to you. Yeah, I don't know. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully tomorrow we're going to start having a lot of Cyberpunk 2077 footage when this 2.0 update launches. So we'll see you guys then.